Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Chris and today, well, we're flying around South Devon. We've got a camera, a GoPro, in an interesting position, which is the camera's bolted to the tail wheel of the aircraft to give us a slightly different perspective of the whole area. It was filmed earlier this year before the crops started growing, and as you can appreciate, we can't fly much at the moment because of the horrid weather. We just start off at Bolt Head, looking across at the old wartime airfield, the radar station and so on, looking round to Salcombe town, and then a bit back over towards the left we'll be looking up towards Marlborough and just taking a general look around at this old site and what used to happen here, and also taking a trip along the coast, having a look at what happened along the coast as well. We'll just go back now, get the aircraft out of the hangar, get started up and taxi up to the end of the runway. We're going to take off in a westerly direction, and as we lift off, if you look down at the black and white image on the left hand side, you will see two B-17s that had flown in the day before. This is wartime 1943, and I've drawn a sort of a line to indicate where the old wartime runway ran. And where the runway runs now is that, in fact, that red line, and you can see the two crossovers. On the left hand side is the tarmac, which is Esau car park now, and we just lifted off now. We're heading out west over the Sawmill Cove Hotel. Over to the right is Higher Farmhouse, and we're just coming up to Sawmill Cove Hotel now, and then we'll turn slightly right and head out over towards Hope Cove, very briefly flying over the Portlight Hotel. As you can see, it's early early spring, and the grass is just starting to grow. It's just starting to get a bit greener, and now we're approaching the coast, and just in the distance there is what used to be the Portlight Hotel. It was, in fact, during World War II. This was RAF Bolt Tail, a radar station which was perched just out on the cliff. As we fly out now to the location of RAF Bolt Tail, in this image, black and white image, you can see the radar station just clinging to the cliff edge, just down below what was the Portlight Hotel, and it's quite an interesting location to have a radar station. Very exposed, very windy, but very effective. We'll fly on to Hope Cove, have a quick look around over the village, turn around and then fly back towards the airfield again along the coast, and pick up some more interesting bits and pieces before we arrive back overhead the airfield, and have a good look at how it looks now, and some of the images from the Second World War and from the Cold War, showing what the runway layout was during the Second World War, and also what the radar station looked like during the Cold War. And in fact, the radar station was actually working here from 1941 right through until 1958. We're flying now, returning around over Bolt Tail, flying back along the coast eastwards towards, just coming over the Portlight just here on the left, and now we'll continue on back to the airfield. And as we approach, you can see down below in this black and white image the old radar station and the outline of the two wartime runways. We fly on across the top of the whole airfield, and down below is the old wartime rotor bunker, the wartime radar station and the rotor bunker that was built beside it, and again the outline of the runway here just on the right hand side heading out over towards the cliff edge. As we now approach the end of the wartime runway, and we're approaching the National Trust House of Overbecksgon, just here on the cliff edge. An interesting shot looking back towards Salcombe and up towards Kingsbridge on quite a low light winter's day. We'll head out now over towards East Portsmouth, and then we'll make a turn over East Portsmouth, around by Salcombe, and come back in and make an approach to land at the airfield back at Bolt Head. We've just turned now and we're heading back towards Bolt Head. Now bear in mind the sea to the top of the cliff is 450 feet, so this is quite a steep cliff to approach, and the wartime runway started just a few hundred yards in from the edge of the cliff, and we're approaching now to line up for the runway that's in current use, which was just slightly to the one side of the wartime runway. And here we're just over a black and white image over South Sands from 1954, and then we'll go on and make an approach, and then you can, just down below you can see the radar station, and the red line is where the runway that we're going to land on today. We're lined up to make an approach. We're approximately 400 feet above the ground here, Overbeck's down to the right, and we're lining up as best we can for the runway, taking into account any crosswind. You can see the rate on the left hand side, that was where the wartime runway used to be, and again down below here now you can see the radar bunker, and the red line is where the runway is that we're heading for now. See the rotor bunker on the right hand side. We're lining up on the runway that's in use now, and you can see down below the wartime layout, and we're approaching that runway now, which was an east-west one, and the top one was a northeast-southwest. We're approaching the runway now. It's down below. The wartime runway actually ran along the left-hand side of this track here. And here's a snapshot back in 2009 and 2008 when we had various fly-ins, and here's the Spitfire and the Hurricane, which arrived at our show to land and display. I hope you've enjoyed the film and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Please do have a subscribe. All the best. Happy Christmas. See you soon. Cheers.